following program is a SUTV student production. The views expressed are not necessarily those of Salisbury University, the University System of Maryland, its regents, administration, officers, employees, or representatives.
Naira Tolliver brings us a story about what some Northwestern University football players hope to accomplish as she spoke with students here at Salisbury about their thoughts on the movement.
And David Parks caught up with an SU student from Zimbabwe that is trying to make an impact not only here at SU, but globally through her organization Tibatone.
And students here at SU gathered to listen to the performers at GoalFest before the cold weather moved in. Pictures and videos were taken by students, with some even meeting the acts. This is SUTV Evening News.
Good evening, Salisbury University, and welcome to SUTV Evening News this Thursday, April 17th. I'm Brooke Reese.
And I'm Sarah Wood. We begin tonight's show with a look into the Delaware Adolescent Program Incorporated, a school created for pregnant teenagers and their children. Their goal is to establish an educational setting and judgment-free environment for these women. Students can get involved by donating new toys, diapers, clothes, wipes, and supplies. Boxes can be found in the Social Work Department office, Blackwell, Purdue, and Cool Beans Cafe until April 30th.
And a Salisbury University faculty member received an award for her involvement with the young student literacy in the community earlier this month. Dr. Joyce Weincheck is the director of SU's John B. and Florence Simmons May Literacy Center, where she provides reading tutoring to many local students from grades K through 8th grade. Weincheck earned the second annual Wicomico County Library's Light of Literacy Award for her work with the center.
And Relay for Life of Salisbury University is set to begin next Friday, April 25th at 6 p.m. on the intramural fields. The event helps raise money for the American Cancer Society while also raising awareness about how to reduce cancer risk and honor cancer survivors. And the next team captains meeting for Relay for Life will take place on April 22nd at 7 p.m. in Devil Abyss 123.
An SU's opera workshop presentation called Talk Opera is coming up soon as people talk about the presence or lack thereof of opera in modern day society. Miranda Haney looked into the event that is set to take place later this April and brings us that story tonight.
On April 25th, 26th, and 27th, something big is taking place in the Great Hall, something students may not be so familiar with.
Talk Opera is an original show put on by the music department, and it's a original show based around a made-up talk show hosted by my drag character, Magnolia Applebottom. The music students are all performing, and they have these basically comedic opera personas where they come on my show and they interact, and I make jokes. There's a lot of interacting with the audience, comedy, live singing. It's going to be really cool.
Directed by John Wesley Wright, Talk Opera showcases the finest voices of the music department. SUTV caught up with some of these performers to ask why students should come out and experience this opera for themselves.
I think the most important thing that you should think is that there are many different types of music and different categories that music fits into, and each version is beautiful in its own, and you have to be able to appreciate every form of music for what it is.
Without opera being developed, there wouldn't be the pop music that we have now and the voice superstars who, came into fruition as being famous people because they were vocalists, and that would never have happened without the development of some of these pieces and some of these composers' works through opera.
To buy tickets or find out more information, visit the Guerrero University Center Information Desk. From SUTV News, this is Miranda Haney reporting.
Thanks, Miranda. And that is set to take place April 25th to the 27th.
And with the spring season still ahead in sports, SUTV sports correspondent Amanda Newman is here to give us an update on all things sports. Amanda?
Thank you. The number 2 men's baseball team beat number 5 Wesley College 5-4 Wednesday in the CAC tournament. Friday they will be playing number 3 Christopher Newport at 4 p.m. The number 1 women's softball team had a 10-3 victory over CAC rival Frostburg, ending the game in just 5 innings. Junior catcher Rebecca Holy had a 2-run homer to push the lead to 6-0. Tomorrow they will either be playing Christopher Newport or York College. The number 3 men's lacrosse team had a 15-3 victory over Marymount University yesterday afternoon. Senior attackman Rhett Del Pole had a 9-point game, 5 goals and 4 assists. SU had a 10-0 lead at halftime, leading in shots 24-2, 12-8 on face-offs, and 22 for 10 on ground balls. The Seagulls will be traveling to play Stevenson University in their final game of the season Saturday night at 7 p.m. And the number 1 women's lacrosse team remains undefeated and improves their record to 16-0 after a 9-4 victory over Marymount University yesterday afternoon. 8 Seagulls recorded points in the game. The Seagulls' final game of the regular season will be against number 2 State College of New York, Cortland, Saturday at 12 p.m. Good luck, ladies. Now back to you guys.
Thanks, Amanda. And some Northwestern University football players are attempting to start a union so that college athletes can become paid employees of their school. Naira Tolliver reports more on this story tonight.
A recent case of big-time college football players trying to unionize and become paid employees of the school has local college sports administrators evaluating the current college sports scene. Salisbury University Athletic Director Michael Vienna thinks that college athletes are already getting paid and says there is something wrong with the current system for college athletes.
Where you have coaches becoming multi-millionaires and some of the institutions making millions upon millions of dollars, and some of those student athletes are having a hard time having some change to go to the movies. There's clearly something wrong with that model.
Deanna says the trickle-down effect of the Northwestern University case to Division III sports could only mean about 40 or so schools would be able to pay college athletes. In 2012, the NCAA reports it paid about $100,000 in athletic expenses per student athlete to schools with football programs, $36,000 for bowl-eligible schools, and $43,000 for Division I schools without football. Division III schools like Salisbury University are only promised a little over 3.5% of the NCAA's operating budget. Salisbury University student Travis Nardella thinks student athletes shouldn't be paid but deserve other perks.
I don't think they should be paid by the school, but I think that they should be able to accept sponsorships and accept money from different Nike.
If successful, the Northwestern University football players could change the landscape of college athletics as we know it today. In Salisbury, I'm Naira Tolliver reporting.
Thanks, Naira. And police say that late Saturday night, an unidentified male called the Salisbury Walmart on North Salisbury Boulevard reporting a bomb threat. As a precaution, shoppers were evacuated and the store closed around 10 p.m. and was cleared and reopened at about 12:30 a.m. on Sunday. At this time, police say there is not a correlation between this and the March 28th bomb threat at the center of Salisbury. However, they are continuing to investigate.
And as we see, unfortunately, hear of new bomb threats that are near the future more frequently, Tuesday marked the 1-year anniversary since the Boston Marathon bombing that tragically injured over 260 Americans and killed 3. Many reports were found about the miraculous recoveries of many injured victims, and with the help of social media, the hashtag #BostonStrong trended across the nation. Everywhere, people gave their respects to the tragedy, including many Boston sports teams and government officials. The 2 suspects responsible for the bombs are no longer of worry this year, at the prestigious marathon, as one killed last year during a police shootout, and the other suspect is in custody awaiting his trial for the involvement in the attack. The moment of silence was held at the finish line to commemorate the 3 young people that were killed during the event.
And near Kansas City on Sunday, the night before the Jewish holiday Passover is set to begin, Fraser Glenn Cross Jr., 73 years old, also known as Fraser Glenn Miller, allegedly opened fire on a Jewish community center and a Jewish retirement complex, killing 3 people, 2 of which are reported as not being Jewish. He is charged with a count of premeditated first-degree murder. It is believed to be a hate crime, and Miller is reported to have passed as a Ku Klux Klan member and background as a white supremacist in the 1980s. And an SU student strives to make an impact on the world with her organization Tibatane, which stands to promote economic sustainability in Zimbabwe by creating a clothing line to fund projects to build businesses in Africa. David Park spoke to the founder and brings us more information about that organization.
Tibatane is an organization to help empower business owners in Africa. They help them out by giving them microloans and education. With this help, they empower entrepreneurs to be more self-sustainable.
We are also college students, so that to us I think resonates to a lot of people, and that's how we've gotten a lot of support, because typically what we're doing is done by people that have either graduated in their late 30s, people with experience, but we're just doing it from just our love to see a change in the world.
You may see people around campus sporting this stylish brand of clothing. Tivatane clothes have a unique African print pattern on them. There are many different types of clothing they offer. Tanks, tees, denim, and dress shirts are just a few options.
The funds we raise from the Tivatane clothing line will go directly towards setting up a factory where we'll employ and empower women in rural Zimbabwe. The funds will also go towards our first few projects that will benefit social entrepreneurs in rural areas. When we were coming up with ideas, the clothing line became our way of keeping people connected to the movement, because we know that we can only do this together. And it's also a way to look good while supporting an awesome cause.
It's been really cool to see what we can do with the money that we've raised thus far, and also being able to give rewards to those people that enabled us to kind of invest.
You can make a donation to Tivatane on their Indiegogo page. The information for that, as well as other ways to get involved, can be found at tivatane.org. I'm David Parks for SUTV News.
Thanks, David. Wow, Sarah, it's really great to see an SU student giving back to the community.
I know, and it supports such a great cause, but they're also very stylish clothing items, so have to invest in one of those. And now we go to Jamie Potter with what's new in This Week in the Flyer.
This is Jamie Potter with another edition of This Week in the Flyer. This year's Gulf Fest takes over half of the front page with Olivia Clark and Jessica Goodell's article titled Diverse Artist Headline Gulf Fest 2014 and Justin McClure's article titled A Backstage Pass to Gulf Fest. If you are unable to attend and are curious how your peers as well as the artists enjoyed the experience, check out these articles. Another story covering the front page is Shannon Wiley's article on a change in one of SU students' favorite days of the year titled Punkin' Chunkin' Moving to a New Location. Wiley writes that due to a $5.5 million lawsuit, the farm owner just cannot afford to lose everything to continue this annual event. Wiley gives information on potential places for next year's Punkin' Chunkin', as well as many people's reaction to the news. And any student curious about what they will soon be able to do and not do regarding marijuana should check out Jacob Troxell's article titled MD Passes Marijuana Decriminalization. In the editorial section, Taylor Rogers writes about an upcoming show that will be organized and broadcasted through SUTV in his article titled Sammy Awards Spotlight Digital Media. Rogers writes how this award show that started in 2010 welcomes all majors for a chance to win $250. The R-View, entitled The Senior Bucket List on page 5, gives the top 11 things that must be done before graduation. My personal favorites include number 7, get your name on the ceiling at Mojo's, number 3, go searching for the fallout shelters in Holloway and Devilbiss, and number 1, swim in one of the fountains. That's all for this week's edition. Now to Brooke and Sarah.
Thanks, Jamie. And now Emily gives us a look into how this week's weather will stay as beautiful as last week.
Thanks, guys. As you can tell from campus earlier, we have a lot colder temperatures at the end of this week than we did at the beginning of the week. This is a snapshot from what happened on Tuesday afternoon when we got the big rainstorm. The warm air that we had last weekend, beautiful 70-degree weather, well, it's gone. It left. It went out into the ocean. What we were in the area with the strong storms, this little red zone right here. We had some thunderstorms here on campus, and actually if you were awake late enough on Tuesday night, you would have seen some sleet, which is really rare for April. So now what we have is colder air, much colder air, that should be blowing out of the way in the next couple of days, and I'll show you that in a minute. So this is what is going to look like tomorrow. This warm front right here is going to bring us a couple clouds that I'll show you in a little bit. And in a couple days, this cold front right here will be here this weekend and will bring us some rain in the south. And it's pretty much a dry, cold front up north, so we shouldn't be seeing too much precipitation. However, there is a chance of showers, so just beware of that. So these are the clouds that are coming along with the warm front. You can see that it's just going to be a couple clouds. We really shouldn't get that much precipitation for the start of your weekend. What's important to notice is your 36-hour forecast. So tonight, it's going to be kind of chilly, so spring totally isn't here yet, which is kind of a bummer. Don't hate, I'm just the messenger. So tonight we should see temperatures that fall around 36 degrees. Tomorrow should be a little bit warmer than yesterday or today, with a high around 57, maybe 60 if we're lucky, but the clouds that are here should be keeping the temperatures down. Tomorrow night, again, sorry to tell you, but the temperatures drop down to 39 degrees, which is kind of a bummer, but it should be done soon. So here's take a look at your 7-day forecast. As I said, your weekend should be pretty sunny. There are a couple clouds, as I said, that are associated with that warm front that moved in. But for your Easter, you should see 64 degrees, chilly at night, so make sure you have a jacket, and in the morning for Easter egg hunt, of course. Next week, the spring temperatures should return, which is awesome. So 67, 70. These temperatures aren't really exact yet. It's pretty hard to predict that far in the future, but definitely a lot sunnier. Tuesday, like I said, when that cold front blows through, we could see a little bit of rain, a couple showers, but we're not definite on that yet. So this weekend is Easter, as most of you know, and most of you will be headed home. Just wanted to give you a quick update. Right now, temperatures look good, 64 degrees for high on Easter in the Delmarva area. If you're going home, expect temperatures to be right around the same. And that's all for this week in weather. Back to you.
Thanks, Emily. And now we take a look into Salisbury University's history in our new segment inspired by the Instagram hashtag Throwback Thursday. We begin in April of 1954 when the Blackwell Library moved into the current building where it stands today, but will soon be moved into the new Academic Commons come 2016.
And on April 15, 1956, Dr. David Wilbur Devilbus was officially inaugurated as the president of Salisbury State Teachers College in the spring of 1964. Salisbury State Teachers College was renamed to Salisbury State College to diversify the majors offered at the institution.
And last Sunday, students gathered to listen to Sage the Gemini, Plain White Tees, and the Eli Young Band on the intramural fields. SUTV spoke to SOAP's Jenna Payne about the event and the turnout.
Golf Fest this year went really well. We had about 1,200 tickets sold, and the students that did come to the show had a great time. Sage the Gemini, he was really fun, and he and the Plain White Tees also came outside after they were finished performing, and they signed a lot of autographs and got a lot of pictures with the students, so I know everyone enjoyed that. And I know a lot of people bought the tickets mainly for Eli Young Band, and they did so good. I had such a blast watching it, and I'm really glad that it was such a successful show, and I hope everyone that came had as much fun as I did, and I hope you come and join us next year. Well, since we had such a busy weekend with Golf Fest, we only have a few events this week. On Wednesday and Sunday, we're having a premiere of Thor and Devilbus 123. Both showings are at 9, so if you're interested in that movie, come out and join us. And then on Thursday, we're having an improv comedy show. It's like a comedian, but it's a group, and they're doing everything right off the bat. They're just making up stuff right on the stage, so that's going to be really fun. It's at 7 o'clock in the My Comic Room, so I hope you come and join us there as well.
And I don't know about you, Sarah, but I really had a great time at Golf Fest this weekend.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed myself, and I feel like there was a good diversity of performers, and I feel like a lot of people's musical likes were met. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
And stay tuned because next Thursday we'll have more news with SUTV Evening News.
Enjoy your weekend and happy Easter. From all of us here at SUTV, good night.